Good evening. Welcome to Village Hall, and welcome to Dr. Wright for Sunview, and to the Board of Trustees meeting, August 14th, 2018. Thanks for coming. We do have some administrative things we have to take care of first before the real fun part of this evening starts.
You want to do the pledge and then
Open the
we're
meeting.
going to reopen the meeting. Reopen the meeting.
We need a motion to reopen the meeting and close the executive session. Do I have a motion? Trustee Taylor, second. Deputy Mayor Cassell, all in favor? It's unanimous. Okay, so now we'll,
The Pledge of Allegiance and the prayer.
will you join me in doing the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bob, I have the prayer.
Yes.
Actually, this is apropos to what we're about to do. We're going to be swearing in 3 new police officers and promoting a 4th. So I'd like to offer this evening's prayer for our police officers. May all police officers be granted the strength and clarity needed to stay safe during their efforts to keep our community safe. And may we offer our thanks for their sacrifice and service on behalf of the people they dutifully protect and serve. Amen.
I'll ask you just to stand for a minute and have a moment of silence for someone in the village, Angela Quigley, who passed away recently. Angela worked for 25 years in school in the lunchroom, so many of you from Dobbs Ferry know Angela. She was one of the original members of the Ladies Auxiliary of the American Legion and involved in the elections process within the village and volunteered in many, many other things. So we'll just have a moment of silence for Angela. Okay. Thank you. So what I'd like to do is do the 2 motions for the 3 new appointments of the Village of Dobbs Ferry. And then we'll do the promotional resolution. The tenant here. Sure.
May you do the transfer first? First.
Funding.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So I need to consider a motion to approve the following budget transfers as recommended by the village treasurer. To increase the appropriated fund balance by $50,000 and to increase the police department budget personal services by $50,000. Do I have a motion?
You have to add it to the agenda first because there are new items. You have to take a motion to amend it, huh?
Was there an amendment already?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. Do that motion first, to amend the agenda to add those 2. I think that motion can be made now.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
So we'll take a motion to amend the agenda. Trustee Taylor, second. Trustee Sullivan, all in favor? Unanimous. I'll do this one again. Consider a motion to approve the following budget transfers as recommended by the village treasurer. Increase the appropriated fund balance by $50,000 and increase the police department budget personal services by $50,000. Motion? Trustee Sullivan, second. Deputy Mayor Cassell, all in favor? Unanimous. So now that we have motion out there, we have new people coming back here to fill this out. So we're going to do the appointment of the 3 officers first. We'll do both. What I'd like to do is, and then we'll do we're going to administer the oath of office to Police Officer Amanda Strobel.
Mr. Mayor, if you could, sorry, another motion, a technical aspect. A motion to appoint the 3 officers first, then you can administer the oaths. Sorry, very technical tonight.
Okay, so do I have a motion to appoint the 3 officers? Trustee Taylor, second. Deputy Mayor Cassell, all in favor? Unanimous. I'm not going to start again.
Now you can,
Okay,
now you can.
so we're going to have Amanda come up. So I'm just going to give a brief intro for you. Amanda resides with her fiance in Portland Manor. She is currently employed in Dobbs Ferry as a cookery. You received your associate's degree from Westchester Community College, 2017. And you graduated from the Westchester County Youth Academy in 2014. You also completed all of the testing that Westchester County requires from their human resources area for the position. Do you solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of police officer of the Village of Dobbs Ferry Police Department to the best of your ability? Lieutenant Costin? Okay, next we have Julius. You want to join me up here? Julius Darabonic. Is that good? Julius is married and lives with his wife and their 2-year-old daughter in Shrub Oak, New York. He graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree from Hunter College. He has been employed by the New York City Police Department since October 2015. And you patrol the 47 precinct. You've completed successfully all of the testing needed under Westchester County Department of Human Resource requirements. Do you solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of police officer of the Village of Dobbs Ferry Police Department to the best of your ability?
I do.
Want to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity and want to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity and hopefully I'll meet your expectations and then some. Thank you.
Officer Brad Scala is married and lives with his wife and their 2 children in Mount Kisco, New York. You received your bachelor's degree from Pace University and received your master's of science degree from Michigan State University. You served in the United States Air Force from 2007 to 2011, where you were a combat communications technician. You've been employed by the New York City Police Department since 2015, and again in the 47th Police located in the Bronx. Officer Scala has successfully completed all of the screening and testing requirements of the Westchester County Human Resources Department. Fantastic. Do you solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of police officer of the Village of Doxbury Police Department to the best of your ability?
I do. Yeah, you go. Here you go, Artie. That's fine. This is my wife's policy. I got my 2 boys, Dominic and Eric. My mom, my brother, and my brother's girlfriend Aaron. They all made the trip. You know, and again, you know, this is great for us. You know, we're happy to be here. Same thing as EJ said. You know, we're gonna, you know, just put our best foot forward and hopefully make the town proud. Appreciate it.
Sean, this is big. Sergeant Sean White began
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry to be the stickler type. We need to make a motion to appoint him. Sorry, Mayor.
I don't mind in the case of Sean.
Want to make sure it's all legit.
Consider a motion to provisionally appoint Sergeant Sean White as lieutenant. I have to do this. At an annual salary of $144,857, effective August 15, 2018. Motion, trustee Taylor, second, deputy mayor Cassell, all in favor? Unanimous. I'll start over. So I'm going to start over, Sean. He began his career with the Doxbury Police Department in August of 1988. During that time, he was a field training officer, preparing many of our officers back here, and the chief said, including himself, on how to become a Doxbury police officer. And I can tell you, he did a great job, knowing the guys on the crew. He also served as detective and sergeant, and many other different things. Joined on the ambulance corps of Doxbury. You know, there's a family, I think, that anybody would want to emulate in Doxbury. It's the White family. Sean has a distinguished career. Your brother Brian, a doctor here in Doxbury, Terry Hospital. I don't know, Brian, if you're still in the hospital.
No, I'm elsewhere, but I'm still breathing.
Your sister Trish was the ambulance corps, I think, 25 years. So, and your father Jim was acting, I think that was justice, an acting trustee, or,
Yes, I think so.
and your brother Mike was to the DA's department. Doesn't get much better than that. It's really terrific. So, did I miss anything? Anyway, we're going to do the do you solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Lieutenant of the Village of Dobbs Ferry Police Department to the very best of your ability.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Joanne. Nice to meet you.
I'd like to thank the board for the support and confidence in me, the mayor. I'd also like to thank Chief Rivera for having the confidence in me. And I'd like to thank everybody for showing up tonight. Thank you for your support. And this is my wife Joanne behind me every step of the way. My son Mike and my son Brendan. I have tonight with me my brother Brian, his wife Carolyn, our brother Mike, his wife Cynthia, and my sister Trish. And we all thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some pictures. I wanted to say a few words. The Chief Rivera is out of town this week. He sends his apologies for not being. He actually had scheduled a vacation to the House of Mouse down in Florida. He's down there with his family. I'm sure he's enjoying himself about now. So he felt, bad that he wasn't able to make it, but he had already planned his vacation, and he certainly wanted to be here to see the three new officers appointed and to see Sean, who he's worked with for so many years, appointed to lieutenant, promoted to lieutenant. So congratulations to all of you. Just one other thing, and we're going to take some pictures with the board of trustees. The chief also asked me, there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to get the three officers on board and to get promotions through. You can see, even at the last minute, there were some things coming up that had to be done and approved, and to get this implemented so that we could do this tonight, legally, and keep us out of trouble, I guess, right? So Charlene Delicado, who's our village administrator, thank you for getting a lot of this done, to get these appointments and promotion. And the chief also wanted me to thank our village clerk, Liz Draper. Liz, the chief said that he would not have been able to do this without your help. I guess you put together 135 or 145 letters, got them out, did a lot of the paperwork behind the scenes, and he wanted to make sure that I expressed that.
Thank you.
Down himself here, every night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you both. We'll start with Amanda, and we'll take a picture with the board. Bless you. Oh, come on up. Marty, and we'll get Sean. Very good. Great, thank you. Let's get one of the rest of the white family, come on up. All right. This guy.
Yes, wait.
Well, the tall one's in the back, you're on. Yeah.
Wow.
Certificate, yeah. Or
What is it?
notes.
That's
Goats.
Congratulations, Brad. Anybody else?
Thank you, Mary.
That's great, Donna.
I'm sorry.
I would like to, Brian, my kids told me that you never chased it out of the jury estate. It was Detective Rodriguez. Okay, we're gonna go to courtesy of the floor. I think.
That sounds good.
Really.
Sound-
That leaves Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of this is fine.
Yeah, you guys, if you want. Be quiet.
Oh, a new trustee.
Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. Does anybody who would like to address the board courtesy of the floor? Bob, you want to step up to the mic? Just state your name and address.
Give you a little idea of what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
Maybe give you one.
Oh, thank you.
You want one too, Liz?
I need one.
I got an extra.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you got this?
I don't know, is that on?
This is just sketch I made showing portions of Ogden Avenue, 4 random road sections between Ogden Place, or Irving Place and Beacon Hill Road. It shows you the width of lanes in circles. Understandable? No problem? 9 foot 6 inches is a standard lane width. Any large vehicle, including fire trucks or a school bus, are unable to keep within this lane. This is one of the craziest and dangerous traffic patterns in the village. Anyone walking north on the east side or anyone living on the east side trying to back out of their driveway has very limited view of cars and trucks driving north. Ask the mailman what he thinks about it when he walks down that road. Ogden Avenue is one of the most used streets in the village by the fire department. At least once a day, as many as 5 times in one day. Even though there are no through trucking signs are posted, Ogden Avenue is now the main delivery route for all deliveries to Rivertown Square, and many other trucks using it as a shortcut between 9A and Antrim Avenue. We were told this would not happen. More signs are needed at the intersection of Danforth and Ogden Avenue, and truckers need to be issued citations coming through. A few months ago, I reminded you about a promise the village made when the new DPW was built. That curbs and new pavement would be installed on Ogden Avenue to be part of that project. It was stated at that meeting that we had an estimate for that work. Can I ask you how much that estimate was for? Does anybody know?
I don't remember.
We'll have to check into that, Bob.
Okay. Another question. Can I ask where the $250,000 bond the developer of Rivertown Square agreed to as part of the sale will be spent? I've lived on Ogden Avenue for 45 years. Before Hunter's Run, before Walden Woods, before the new PW, before the mess called Rivertown Square. With all the additional traffic and with all the new tax base that we were told we needed, not 1 cent has been spent on Ogden Avenue to compensate for all the new development. Just a point of interest when I finish here. DPW was built on the site of the old Carvel store. It was forced to close down by the county. The reason it was closed down is because it generated too much traffic in the area. That was over 50 years ago. Did we get less traffic there at that time? I don't think so. I have some more things here to say, but it's not worth getting a little bit crazy on that. And I have another issue, but before I say that issue, I really hope that the village taxpayers have their Lipitor or whatever else they need to take their blood pressure down next to them when I speak next time on this tax issue. That's it, your time.
Thanks, Tom.
Did that sketch make sense?
I understand it.
Excuse me?
I understand it.
Don't show it to a traffic engineer, they're not smart enough.
Okay, thank you, Bob.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions?
No, I know the issues there.
Would any, one more thing, would anyone like to walk that street with me and I can prove to them how bad it is?
Well, I mean, would it make sense for the traffic committee to look at that? Have they already done?
Donna, you can't see far enough on that. I got no
No,
disrespect.
no, but I, no, I,
disrespect.
no, well, I know Ogden Avenue, so it's, I know the
I know
issues.
you, we're friends, I know you can't.
Yeah, no, I'll look at them later.
If somebody else could walk that, or even ride down and see how crazy this pattern is. I mean, this pattern was put down on a Labor Day weekend last year, in the middle of the night. No inspectors from the village, I don't understand.
Yep, they did redo it, but
They erased the lane. They erased the one double yellow that they had. That's all they did. Make that section that is 7.5 foot wide. You can't fit between the school bus and her. The people backing out on that east side, I don't know how they make it without getting there. I've only seen one car get hit so far.
Okay. So, I'd like to consider a motion to retain the services of Potomac Hudson Environmental to conduct groundwater testing for a minimum of 2018 and 2019, and for a maximum of 5 years at the northern portion of the waterfront park, as mandated by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, for an amount totaling $81,963, as recommended by the village's consulting engineer. This 5-year period may be reduced if samples provide acceptable results.
I can give a quick update. Some of you may or may not know, probably a decade plus ago, the village was working with the DEC concerning the northern portion of Waterfront Park that was contaminated. It was essentially used as a fill by the village and others. That had to be capped through the New York State DEC program, meaning soil was put over it, new soil, and you can't dig in a certain portion depth to build anything there. We entered into a consent order with DEC, agreements with DEC, and that was all paid for and done. One of the things we need to do going forward is to monitor the water levels, the water quality there. So these tests, Potomac Engineering was one of our engineers that was helping us with the capping of this property. They submitted a proposal and have been working with us for a number of years to test this water pursuant to DEC requirements. They will do that. They will submit the reports to DEC. Hopefully they come back really good in a decreasing level of any issues, and then we can stop doing it. This contract would be for 5 years at most. There is a possibility if the water levels don't decrease, they may make us do something further after the 5 years with another testing. But this contract would be for 5 years for a total amount of $81,963 for the 5 years.
Very good. Thank you, Darren.
You're welcome.
Anybody on the board, any questions? Okay, can I have a motion? Deputy Mayor Casella, second. Trustee Sullivan, all in favor? Okay, unanimous. Consider a motion to accept approximately 4+ acres of property called Chauncey Park from the County of Westchester with a sum of $1. So,
I can do that too if you like.
Yes, yeah.
Sure. Back in this property, Chauncey Park, which is on the north, west side of sort of Rivertown Square area, was a county park for years. It was donated to the county by the state back in 1920-something as part of, because they weren't using it for the Sawmill River Parkway. In 1963, this property was approved to be transferred to the village of Dobbs Ferry for a park by the county board of legislators, but was never actually transferred via deed and filed in the clerk's office. When Rivertown Square was proposing to develop where they did, this park issue came up. The village wanted to maintain it as a park and wanted Rivertown Square to do some improvements to that park. We found out at that time in 2011, 2012 timeframe that the property was never transferred to the village. So we worked with the county to do that. Charlene helped immensely in the last few months to get this done, finally, so it could be transferred to us. We did do some testing on the site, and the test came back clean. This was part of the whole secret process when we went through it with Rivertown Square, that this would remain a park, and certain improvements we made to the park by Rivertown Square at no cost to the village. That would be including some trails, cleaning of the trails. A bridge would be constructed to go over a little tributary to the Sawmill River Parkway. This would connect the Southfield neighborhood area to Rivertown Square and potentially to the South County Trail, which is across the Sawmill River Parkway. This was looked at by the Conservation Advisory Board and recommended by them during the secret process. So this is the final formal approval that we need to do to accept this. The county did approve it last week unanimously, I believe, at the Board of Legislators to transfer the deed to us. Now the formality would require the village to accept that transfer. And then I'll work with the county to get the deed finalized and filed in the county land records, if you approve it.
Thank
Part
you.
of the agreement was that it has to remain a
Has
park,
to
right?
remain
a
Or
park.
the
Yep.
county
Yep.
takes it back.
Yes, there's a reverter clause, this is staying with the village, but if for some reason the village didn't want it anymore and they tried to do something on it 10, 20, 30 years from now, it would automatically revert back to the county. So this will remain a park, this has to remain a park, otherwise it goes back to the county and remains a park, so.
And Darius, can you explain what the pedestrian bridge is that Saber's gonna install?
What type of bridge?
No, like what the purpose of the bridge is.
Oh, yeah, the purpose of the bridge is a little tributary there that runs, I think, actually east and west that you need to cross. Otherwise, you're jumping over at times when it gets rainy like it is now, you can't get over it. Obviously, in dry times, you may be able to hop over it. But this will facilitate anybody really from Northfield, Southfield, anywhere along Ashford Avenue to go back in that neighborhood, walk through a trail, and then get to the bridge, go over the bridge, and then access Rivertown Square and the South County Trail on the other side of the sawmill. It's a positive thing. Walking trails, people can walk their dogs back there, just take a walk with the family, whatever you'd like. I think it's a good thing for the village to have a passive recreation area too.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, do we have a motion? Trustee Sullivan, second. Deputy Mayor Cassell, all in favor? Unanimous. Consider a motion to approve change order number 1 for general contractor Optimus Construction in the amount of $325,580 due to increasing costs for materials caused by market forces. I was going to ask Trustee Taylor, who's the chair of our budget committee, to address this issue.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Unfortunately, during the planning and then budgeting process, and as well as the bidding process for the Embassy Center renovations, there were significant increases in a number of costs, primarily in the area of raw materials. A number of the cost increases were driven by the tariff activity that's going on. And as a result, we were forced during the process to essentially, through a change order, allow for a higher cost on things like steel and other raw materials that are needed for the building. In studying this and looking at it with the village engineer, this is the most cost-effective way to do it. And this bid is still the lowest acceptable bid that was available to the village for the renovation of the Embassy Center, which is obviously a high priority in terms of getting our community center back up and running. So that is where this change order has come from.
Thank you, Trustee Taylor. And it's my understanding if we pass this then tonight, there'll be a meeting on Thursday, and then that will begin the process to start the work on or continue the work, I should say, on the Embassy Center.
Yes, that is the kickoff construction meeting, and activity will be seen soon thereafter, very soon thereafter.
Great, that's excellent. We need to get that completed. It's a wonderful thing for the village. Thank you, Trustee Taylor and Charlene. So do I have a motion? Trustee Taylor, second. Deputy Mayor Cassell, all in favor? Unanimous. Consider a motion to authorize the Chief of Police to sign an agreement with the Westchester County Department of Public Safety Services for the use of the county firing range at no cost to the village. It's my understanding that our current range is, one is closing in Mount Vernon, the other, there is a possibility of closing in Irvington.
Yes, I mean, I think the chief did a very good job in negotiating this, although the contract does provide for an amount of money. It is no cost because there is a separate agreement with the county that we would provide some teaching, some of the police officers to give training in their Westchester County Police Academy. So it's a good trade-off. And the police department, Westchester County Police Department waives the $807 or so for the, the firing range, yeah. So, I would recommend it highly, as I know that the chief would also.
Great, thank you, Shelley. Okay, so do we have a motion? Trustee Taylor, second. Trustee Nell, all in favor? Unanimous. Consider a motion to approve orders number 1, number 2, and number 3 for August 2018, as recommended by the village treasurer. Trustee Taylor, do you have any?
I don't have any comments. I have reviewed them, and I will happily make that motion.
Second. Deputy Mayor Cassell, all in favor? Unanimous. Consider a motion to approve fiscal year-end budget transfers for the budget year ending May 31st, 2018, as recommended by the village treasurer. Jeff, did you want to comment on this?
Sure. This is an annual process, truing up of some overspent budget line items. Again, it's just a routine annual
process.
Correct.
At the end of the
Yep. At the end of the fiscal year.
Good. Great job on the budget. Fantastic. Okay, so do I have a motion? Trustee Taylor, second. Trustee Sullivan, all in favor? That's unanimous. Consider a motion to refund the owners of 51 Maple Street the sum of $375.38 for the veterans exemption and adjust the assessment roll accordingly. Do we have a motion? Trustee Nell, second. Trustee Sullivan, all in favor? Unanimous. Consider a motion to call for a public hearing on September 11, 2018 to establish parking restrictions for the 99 Cedar Street parking lot. Did you want to comment on this one?
Yes, we're having the September 11th. I believe that Darius has written the law. What we are recommending, and it's up to the board to listen to the public and also to decide amongst themselves, is the same regulations as we do have right now in the Village Hall parking lot, which allow parking at, after 6 for free, so, for the residents, and with the same amounts that are required now. However, it will be a 12-hour meter, so that it would accommodate anyone who wants to use it as a daily lot for the train station.
Great. Thanks, Sean. So do we have a motion?
I would just, if I can add a comment quickly, this is just to remind the public, this is the time that if you do have opinions about what ought to happen, how those spaces should be allocated, this public hearing is your opportunity to share those views with the board.
Great. Motion. Trustee Taylor, second. Deputy Mayor Cassell, all in favor? Unanimous. Consider a resolution in opposition to proposed plans for coastal storm risk management without sufficient study or community participation.
This was a request by, I believe, a trustee in Hastings, requesting that we ask for more time. And in reviewing the application and some of the background, I think that it would be very wise to do, because what the Army Corps of Engineers want to do is put up barriers. Barriers always change the tidal flows, et cetera, and it has really great ramifications. They gave like a 5-week period just to look at it, and I think it needs a lot more study. There are people who are doing it. You don't have to read a whole bunch of, neither do I, because there are people in various committees who are looking at it, and we'll review it and see what it says and give our comments, just as we did with the barges.
Terrific. Any questions?
I would just make that, just adding to what Charlene said, this is the second time in 3 years that the Coast Guard has tried to do something very substantially, that would very substantially change potentially the Hudson River landscape. And it really is important for us and the other river towns to protect that. It's one of our greatest natural resources. It is, the one thing to mention too is that there are numerous environmental groups that have expressed this significant concern. It isn't just a couple of boards of trustees. There are people who have studied the river and who are very involved and have been for years, who really feel strongly that we need more time to figure out what the impact of this is going to be.
Trustee? Okay, so do we have a motion? Trustee Taylor, second. Trustee Nell, all in favor? Unanimous. The minutes for July 17th, 2018. Anybody have any changes?
Have any comments?
Okay, so do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Trustee Nell, second. Trustee Sullivan, all in favor? Unanimous. Correspondence and claims. Liz, did you have anything you'd like to comment?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we actually had a letter dated July 13th from Michael Spedaleary. I'll just read this in to the record. Chief Guevara, for the past 32 years, I've been blessed working at the job I've loved and dreamed about as a young child, but after much prayer and reflection, I've decided to retire from the Dobbs Ferry Police Department. My retirement date will be July 28th, 2018. I've always been proud to wear the uniform of this department and will miss it greatly. I will cherish the memories and lifelong friends I have made over the past 32 years. I want to thank you for your respect you have shown me over the past 10 months. I know the department is headed in the right direction, and the residents of Dobbs Ferry will be proud of the work the members will do, and I wish you and all of the members of the department the very best. While my heart is a bit heavy as I close this chapter in my life, I am excited about what the future holds. Stay safe and be well. Sincerely, Lieutenant Spedaleary. And just so the public knows, although the letter is dated July 13th, we had to wait until this time to read it into the record in the unlikely event that Mr. Spedaleary would decide he wasn't going to retire. So that's why we're reading it at this time. So thank you.
Great. Thanks, Liz. Charlene, we'll go to comments and reports. Trustee Sullivan.
No, I just wanted to let everyone know that there's going to be 2 more outdoor movie nights. It's August 16th is Despicable Me, and they had to reschedule tonight's The Greatest Showman for August 21st. So that's exciting. And the last one, they had 400 people show up. So.
What, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's a good turnout.
Yeah, that's a great movies this
I
summer.
think would have been happy.
It was for Black Panther.
Yeah.
Black Panther.
That was good. So that's great, I'm glad to hear that. And we also, will have an announcement going out, we're keeping the pool open
Yes.
until Labor Day weekend because of the heat. And we'll start the work on the pool immediately thereafter. But I think that'll be refreshing for many of our swimmers in the village. So that'd be good. The Rec Commission, I think, approved it last night.
Yeah, so it'll be open through Labor Day, and if you're not a member, you can pay a daily rate for, I think it's $10 for adults and $5 for children to use the pool.
So it's a great deal. I love the pool. Okay, Trustee Nell.
Ferry Festa is October 6th. Just another reminder so that everyone knows. We sent out a newsletter to the local businesses also to have them know the upcoming events that will have street closures and so that they can adjust their businesses properly for their clients. And we're accepting vendor applications. And you can go to ferryfesta.com to find out all the info you need. And of course, if there's anyone who wants to volunteer for the village, please come to the nominating committee. You go to dobbsferry.com and click volunteer now, and there's a form there to apply. And Liz will get us your paperwork and they'll interview you.
In fact, we have a meeting this week,
Tomorrow.
tomorrow night. So that's great. We have our chair here.
Christie,
All,
can we talk about having maybe a booth at the Ferry Fest?
Yes.
With some information about all of the committees, so that maybe we could spark up. We're really short on people, and the nominating committee itself is dwindling. So we do have to introduce tomorrow night.
great.
There's a couple of people who, the task force has also talked about, like, if we had a booth at Festa that was village volunteer oriented, to tell them the ways that they can get involved, and also to, I mean, that's a whole different thing, but to find out what people want to do with the downtown and stuff like that, if we could have our own booth that we man at Festa, but we'll talk about that.
Are some of these volunteer committee meetings open to the public so that somebody could come to the meeting, see what it's like, see who's there?
Well, you can, for all of the committees that you're interested in being in, especially for the AHRB or planning board, you can go to those meetings anytime to find out more about them and to see what it's like to be involved. For the other meetings, they're not, you know, public meetings, so you would fill out the application and then we would connect you to the chair of those committees, and you can find out more information directly from the chairs to find out what's involved in the commitment levels and what you'd be doing. So that's how you would do it.
And I think we have a place for everybody. We have
Oh,
a
we'll
lot-
find something for you.
Yeah, we'll find
The
something.
goats always need water.
If you want to be helpful and be involved in the village, we'll find a place for you. We have a few new committees coming around, I think, too. And maybe on the recreation side, some of the subcommittees, some things coming up. So there's plenty to do, and we'll make sure we place the people where they be most effective and be happy. Some of those parties, too, are
Legendary.
legendary.
Nominating committee parties.
Great, thank you, trustee. No, trustee Taylor.
I don't have anything.
Deputy Mayor Casal. Let me just mention now, we're talking about dates. We have the Westchester County Fire Department Parade, volunteers, and my understanding is there's going to be a tremendous amount of trucks and vans and so forth. So that is on the 15th of September, and the parade will start on Ashford, and down Broadway to Cedar, down Main High Street to the waterfront, and there are going to be refreshments at the waterfront. I think the parade starts at 3, and it goes about 2 hours, and then down the waterfront there'll be refreshments. So it should be a fun day, and it's good to salute the volunteers that go out and keep us safe.
And toddlers love fire trucks.
And, so it's going to be fun, especially for the young folks. You know, when you see some of these trucks, they're absolutely gorgeous. And we have one there too, and a couple others coming in.
And I get to walk the Dalmatian.
There you go. There you go. So we have that event, and then on the 22nd, we have the Rivertown's Food Fest,
Rivertown's Public Market.
Public Market, which is a food fest.
It's food festivals and makers, people who make
Yeah.
things
Right.
generally related to food. But yeah, they have like 20 vendors signed up so
Great.
far, and
Wow.
they've got some awesome sponsors too that are looking into helping support it. And they're always looking for more vendors, applications for vendors for that, and then it'll be a great event for families for all the Rivertowns, and we're happy to have it in Dobbs, being based in our waterfront, to be able to use it again for something awesome.
So it's a good opportunity if you want to try some different foods,
Mm-hmm.
and also meet your friends down there and fellow residents. So I think that's it. Oh, the road. How could I forget? The 19th, this Sunday, the Road to Freedom is at 2 o'clock, starts at Gould Park, runs down to the Historical Society, and there'll be an event at 2 o'clock there. There'll be some recognition, and I think they have refreshments there also
Yeah, they do.
at that. So if you have time, it's a good historical experience. Dobbs Ferry was very significant in the Revolutionary War Washington's troops, and the ending of the war at Yorktown. Troops left from here. We now have two beautiful placards down at the waterfront by the docks there that were on July 4th, christened, I would say. And so it'd be a great opportunity if you want to learn a little more about history, get involved with Historical Society. Join us, Road for Freedom, 2 o'clock at School Park. Anything else that I may have missed?
Are we gonna?
Wait, adjourn to executive session.
So I have
We have to make a motion. Adjourn to executive session. And
So I need a motion to close the meeting and adjourn to executive session. Trustee Taylor, second, and Deputy Mayor Casella, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you all. Thank you, Paula, for coming.
So much.
I appreciate it.